Hi, it is Monday, August 26th, and we have some extremely hot temperatures going on right now. I guess extremely hot for us, especially this time of year. It is, I think, about 88 degrees right now with a dew point of 75, and I think it's supposed to feel a little over 100 right now. So they got a chance of some severe storms coming in later today, so hopefully those hold off or don't turn into much. Talking about potentially up to 75 mile an hour winds, 2-inch hail, and I think that's mostly it, but I hope we don't get either of those. So in this episode I have an update. Not a lot going on. It's probably gonna be a little bit quicker update, but I'll give you an update and show you the plants and give you some numbers. Stay tuned. As stated in the intro to this video, it is Monday, August 26th. I am standing next to the 1005 Clements plant. No updates or nothing's changed with the plant from last week, other than there's a lot more weeds. I guess they're just getting taller, but the plant's been terminated, so that hasn't changed. Just a lot of weeds in here, which I've given up on weeding. I still water this pumpkin, but it's kind of about it. It's in the single digits for daily gains right now, so I'm not giving it a ton of attention. But we'll come a little bit closer to the pumpkin here. And I think, if I remember correctly, this pumpkin is just over 60 days old. I think it's 61 days old. And I think it's around 670 pounds or so. If you can see down here, but there's the blossom end. And I think it's holding up fine from when I cut the blossom off a while ago. I haven't had a fan on it. I haven't done anything with it for a long time. So it seems to be holding up. It has a lot of brown sap. I think you can see that on this end. Yeah, kinda. But it's kind of a really cruddy view of this, but there's a lot of cracks and brown sapping there. I'll probably wipe that with some kind of a wipe with alcohol on it at some point here in the near future. So that's Tiny Diamond there, and the plant, and it's maybe 200 square feet, maybe a little bit more, but I'm guessing I should have really did a later pollination on this plant and tried to push the plant further after the wet, after all the rain we dealt with this spring. I should have just let it grow, the plant grow longer, and then put a pumpkin on it late, but I'll know that for next year if I run into a similar situation. So I'm still standing next to Tiny Diamond, the 1005 Clements, but so you can see the 2501 Bernstrom Snow White's plant. It's mostly over here anyway. These are the tertiaries that I had going. Everything on this plant is terminated, except for I do see a few random tertiaries popping up in the middle of the plant. Seems like when you shut things down that the plant wants to push out wherever it can. So there are some tertiaries popping up in the plant that I'll probably take care of. But overall the plant seems to be fairly healthy, knock on wood. Even the older stuff isn't too bad, but like these tertiaries here, some good new growth. On the back side of the pumpkin there has got some good new growth, and then all of this to the left of the pumpkin here is nice, good new growth. So all of that seems fairly healthy. I'm hoping with this heat we have that it's pushing it. I will be watering here in just a second, but I didn't want to have to pull hoses throughout the yard right now and get all worked up before I tried. Didn't want to get out of breath before I tried to film this video. So here is Snow White. She is 63 days old today, And day 60, she was, I think, just under 1,300 pounds. So she should be over that now. Last I knew, she was gaining between 20 and 21 pounds a day, I think, for the previous 3 days. So I am not gonna measure again until day 65, so I'll get a better idea then, but she seems to still be growing. Her blossom here, if I can get that on camera, whoa, wherever, I can't figure out where I'm at, it's too bright out. Oh, there we go. Her blossom is about to touch up here. I am gonna just let it go and see what happens. I'm not sure if it's gonna dig into the pumpkin at all. I had this last year where I had the blossom touch the pumpkin and never caused any issues. So that's my current plan. But here's a closer look at the newer growth. These are the secondaries closest to the camera here that I terminated real recently within the last few days. And then the rest of those secondaries back there are terminated now. So I just need to keep a closer look, a closer eye at the backside of this pumpkin, make sure that it doesn't stay too wet in there. It's just so humid right now that I don't want rot to start. So I'll take you to that side and show you the stem. So here's the other side of the 2501 Bernstrom plant. I figure it's probably, I don't know, 850, 900 square feet. I don't have a real good guess, but plant's plenty decent size. It's at least 33 feet wide, if not wider. And from the start of the plant all the way to the tip, it is 38, 39 feet long. But as you can see, it's not filled out all the way over here or over in that corner. So I don't really know exactly what it is. I haven't taken time to do that. One thing I did this year that it was kind of a challenge to do last year because I didn't think of it ahead of time. But this time I left my vines secondaries split a little bit, or not split, but basically kept them farther apart so I could do a walking board down and get to the stem pretty easy. So that was working out really well, but when I get to here, it's kind of really hard to get to this board. So I just have to be careful when I step in there, and then I can walk to the plant no problem. But it is something that's very handy to have a way to get to the stem, because that's where you can run into some issues. You need to make sure you have some slack there. Make sure there's no cracks, or if the cracks are there, that they're being taken care of and watched on. It's also an easy way for me to get to my main vine to make sure that nothing's rotting along the main vine. Here's the stem. I don't know if you can see that down there. There's a crack there. There's one over here. I think there's one underneath as well, but those are just growth cracks. They shouldn't cause any issues, but I'll have to keep an eye on them. And I did uncover this morning, because of how wet and humid it's been, I did uncover the main vine. It is somewhat shaded, but it looks like it's dried right out. So the main vine looks like it's completely elevated above the soil now. So that should be helpful on keeping things dry. After these storms come through tonight, it's gonna cool down too. So it should help not having to deal with this humidity as much. So that's all I got on Snow White. Just another quick look at the pumpkin. One thing I am noticing a little bit is very mild powdery mildew. I've been spraying for that, but I am seeing it still. I know last year on my plants, I had been removing a ton of leaves by now because it got kind of thick. So far it's little dots. I worried with this humidity that it was going to get out of control, but seems to, so far, knock on wood, not be super bad yet, which is good. But I'm going to go show you the swamp pumpkin, the pumpkin that I think it was a 1643 that I had growing over there in my swamp patch. So we can walk over there quick. The pumpkin's not here, but I'm gonna give you a quick look at the swamp patch just so you have an idea what it turned into. I just pulled this pumpkin out 2 days ago, and there's just a little bit of rot on the stem. These weeds are easily 6-7 feet tall, some of them, but the pumpkin was growing in here. You can't even tell where it was. It was right over in here. But I have the pumpkin in the garage right now. I'll show you that quick. It's not super big, but there was some rot. I cut the stem off because it was spreading. Sprayed it with hydrogen peroxide water solution, and I've had a fan on it today, and it seems like it's drying out. So if I can get to dry out, I'll probably put the pumpkin in my basement until Halloween. So I'll go show you that now. So here's a look at my pumpkin that came out of the swamp patch. I didn't name her, so call her whatever you want, but here's where her stem was rotting this morning. It was out here and the whole thing was rotten, but it looks like it's dried up pretty good. But here's all, I mean, it's not very big at all, but it is pretty solid. So maybe it would go heavy to chart. I don't even know if the chart goes down this far, but I have no clue what it weighs. Probably won't weigh it. I don't really have a scale here. So, but one thing I did notice when I was just carrying it here is this brown, whether that shows up on camera or not, that might be rot, and I might not end up saving this pumpkin. I may take seeds out. I mean, the pumpkin's old enough. It's probably 64 days old, I think. Yeah, I think the pumpkin's 64 days old, and I think it was a 1643 new times a 2501 Bernstrom. So we'll see. Maybe I'll take the seeds out. I won't have an official weight. Really won't even have a good guess on it, but maybe I'll see if they're able to be saved, and I don't know what I'd use them for, but we'll see. So that's really all I got for an update. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing the pumpkin, seeing the plants, getting a quick update of what I have going on this past week. And hopefully you enjoyed seeing the tiny little pumpkin that I had come out of the swamp patch, which I gave up on that patch a long time ago, so it doesn't surprise me the pumpkin's so small. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Please give the video a like and share. Also follow us on Instagram at The Turner Ranch. Thank you.